Hello and welcome to this premium tut series, Tumblr Theming 101. In this video, I'm going to continue writing the CSS for our theme. If you remember it in the previous video, we started creating the basic styles and the media queries for our theme. Now, as mentioned, I've actually updated the example type tut-plus to actually have posts on it, and I've created a post for each of the dummy posts on the theme preview. So from now on, I'm actually going to work directly on the live site. Now the reason for this again is that some things don't actually show up in the theme preview. So for instance, the pages now show up, and the actual audio player now shows up as well. Now, one of the things I'm going to do very quickly, just to give you an example, is I'm going to show you, change this to 5, the pagination element as well, because this is something we haven't seen. So if I just click update, refresh here. Okay, so here you have, there's our next page link, and that will take us to the next page. Now, I have 7 posts, so I've set it to limit the post to 5 per page, and as you can see, that's what's happened. So I'm going to carry on writing the CSS. As I said, the video before this video, and probably the next video are going to be quite quick, as I just want to try and get as much of the CSS done and completed so we can go back to the main purpose of this video, which is to have a look at the Tumblr theme operators. So what I'm going to do now is I've noticed already that I'm just going to grab this and change this back to 10. I've noticed already that we need to do, well, I need to do some more work on the CSS for the typography. So there's our basic typography. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that all my paragraph elements have the same margin, so margin bottom, and again I'm going to base this on the line height to try and keep the vertical rhythm going, so 24 pixels. I don't know if I can do this, no. So remember that this value here, 1.64285, is actually equivalent to 24 pixels. So I'm going to do margin bottom 24, and I'm going to do the same for the OL, the UL, like so. Okay, so as you can see now, our text is starting to get some space in. Now, if we remember correctly, we have a unordered list and a block quote here. Now, again, I'm going to want the block quote to have the same margin as the paragraph and the list items. The list elements. Like so. And then if I go to the design, so a quick look. Now there is some padding here. I'm just going to try and work out how much padding I've added. So again, 24. So my UL will have padding 0, 0, 0, 24. If I remember correctly. I always get confused with the, I believe it's top right, bottom left, but we'll find out shortly. Yep, okay, so there's the indentation for my UL, and then I need to add the actual, I can't think of the word for it. The style, the list style, that's it. So I need to add the list style. Now, I'm not 100% sure which is the best way to do this. Firstly, actually, I need to add the body color. That's something I've missed. So we're going to set the body to the paragraph color, which is 545454. I'm going to define that after the font declarations. Click refresh there. Okay, so that's now the body. Now, and again, remember to do the headings as well. So 222222 22 2. There we go. Okay, so that's them taken care of. Now, if I go back to the design, now the block quote again, that follows the same sort of indentation as the UL. So we'll do 0, 0, 0, 24 pixels. But the border is 4 pixels solid, and then whatever we've set the quote divider color CC. So again, this is just quickly just going through adding in the CSS. So again, you can see the title there has now gone a dark color, and as you can see here, we've now got our border like the design. Now that might not actually be 4 pixels, so we'll just double check. No, it's 2, so we'll change that to 2. Okay, now if I remember correctly, we're going to have to take off 2 pixels on the padding as well, because the border will act as 2. There we go. And if you need to, just use whatever tools you use when you're usually developing, just to make things sure things line up like so. Now links, that's what I'll do next. And again, I don't really do this in any particular I'm working on the type at the moment, so that's presume that is an order. But you do it however you are comfortable with. If there's anything you see me doing that you think would help you, that's great. If there's anything I'm doing that you don't agree with, then you're more, I would prefer you to do it the way you feel is natural to you. Purely because I just feel that coding is almost an expression sometimes. Um, Now, that orange colour looks very dull, that hex colour I've got there, so let's just double check we've got the right one. Now again, the highlight colour was actually picked from the avatar, and it seems to be the right colour. Let's just see if we're doing anything different here. Right, so we're doing a border rather than a dash. Okay, so what we'll do with the anchor is we'll take the border, the text decoration off, and then we'll do a border bottom 1 pix dotted or dorid dotted, and then it will include the hex for the text. So, okay, and then we might as well just do the hover style as well, and that will be color. And I'm going to use the alt color up here, so C3700C. And then we're going to use the border bottom, and we'll update that to 1 pix dotted, and then again same hex color. So let's go back and have a look. And as you can see now, we've got our links are styled, our block quote is styled. Now again, remember that because we've actually defined this at this level here, that any other anchors throughout the page we will actually need to style, which is something I can deal with. I don't think that's too big of a problem. That's an odd one. I wonder why that's gone like that. Anyway, that's something we'll fix shortly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just carry on creating the CSS. Now, something I've already spotted already is if we go back to the post styles, now ideally we would like a margin below our audio post. And I'm going to make that 30 pixels. So what we'll do here is if we actually just have a look, this audio player is given to us via an iframe. A lot of the things that Tumblr passes through to us is via an iframe. So I'm just going to take one of them classes, and it's up to you how you do this. You could do post.audio and then just do that, or you could be specific and say, well, the first child, a child element of this post audio. It's up to you. I don't think there's any need for that for this example, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do margin bottom 30 pixels. Now again, obviously this is kind of against the vertical flow. Really, I should be doing a division of 24 pixels, so 12, so it'd be 36 pixels. But for the time being, we'll keep it at 30, and if we want to change it later, we can do. Okay, so now we've got that nice space. Now the one thing I've noticed is that we haven't actually got a space underneath. So we've done top and bottom, and now the footer. Right, okay, so the footer has actually no flow in the document so far. So let's go back to our post footer. Now I'm going to define this here I'm going to define the float here, and then I'm going to define the width in the very first media query, the 0 pix media query. Like so. And hopefully CSS, yo. It just happens sometimes. Um, just gonna take this out for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to presume that. Yeah, okay, so we actually have to float the post as well. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a quick revision. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to make a quick revision, sorry to lie. I'm going to actually just add float left to my post element, and then I'm going to add a default width to the post as well here of width, like so. Now, I use something called CSS comb, which will organize your properties into a nice little order, which was just a quick update then. So there we go. Let's have a look at how we do. Okay, so now as you can see, we're starting to get this space here. Now the border at the bottom is obviously increased because our UL, we're automatically defining a border, a padding even. So there's a wider space here than there is at the top. So what we'll do, we'll just go to the UL property for the footer and go padding 0 pix. And if we go back to design, oh, and there's also a margin. So we'll take the padding and the margin off, like so. Okay, so as you can see, things are slowly but surely starting now to look more like the design. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bit more work on this footer element. Now, what I'm going to define is anything that's an anchor inside the footer. I'm going to do one of two things. Firstly, I'm going to do so that should get rid of the border. Now I'm just going to quickly look at the design. Yep, there is no border bottom, so I do apologise. That should be border bottom, not bottom bottom. If anyone wants to invent the CSS property of bottom bottom, please do so and give me a shout. So okay, so we're removing the border bottoms here. Now, in reflection or on reflection, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this rule specific to these two guys up here, so the reblog button and the like button. And as it only appeared on the reblog button, I'm actually only going to declare it for the relog button. Now the reason I want to do this is because I would like, when somebody hovers the post details, I would actually like a border bottom on them. So, oh, sorry, that is a reblog, yeah, I apologize, there we go. So the class reblog button is actually on the anchor itself, like so. There we go. Now, as per the footer, I must apologize. This is actually a new install of my whole OS. I designed this theme before I actually had a refresh, so hopefully, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So the only difference here now is that it's 14 and 23. So I'm just going to go through and make these updates very quickly. 23 divided by 14. Okay, so we already had it. What? Okay. Okay, for the sake of it, I'm just going to make this 24. No, I'm not. I'm going to make it 23. I lie. Sorry. So again, just quickly update these values to 23. That'll be 21. Okay. So I apologize for that. There we go. So let's do some more work on the post details. Okay, so this is the first of the actual theme changes we'll actually have to make, the markup changes. It seems that the source for the quote actually doesn't get wrapped in any, it doesn't come with any HTML, it's just a string. So what we're going to do is just go back to our template or our theme even, and then this source here, we're just going to wrap it in a P or a paragraph element, and then click save and copy that, and then just take that in. And you'll find this from time to time. As I said, you know, it helps a lot creating a lot of the markup as soon as you possibly can, but also sometimes you come across things that you need to go in and you need to change. So always have the file open. So there we go. So that's the quote, and then there's there's a text element. I'm just going to the photo, the caption again, it's come with content, which is great. And then again, you know, I've been doing these for a good few years now, and I still get tripped up. So don't worry about it. If you do struggle or have an issue, there are plenty of people out there willing to help you. Stack Overflow is a massive resource. I try to do my best to help out the Tumblr um, questions over there. So if you ever have an issue, either send me a link or send me a tweet or something. I'll do my best to try and help you out. But the takeaway here is that, you know, what you write in your index file up until you're finished is not set in stone, and you may need to go back and rewrite things or fix things, etc. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is I'm just going to quickly try and finish up the rest of the styling for this footer. Now, the text in the footer is 10 and 13, if I remember. Yeah, 10 and 13. So I think I'm actually just going to do it here. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it here. And again, 13 divided by 10. So the line height would be changed to 1.3. Take all that. Oh, I don't need to copy that. Too used to that, so I don't need to copy that. Just click save, and then there we go. So we're starting to slowly but surely look the same. Now, as I mentioned, with my anchors inside the footer, I'm going to have to be a little bit more specific here, and I'm just going to go LIA, because I do not want these styles to apply to the reblog button, etc. Obviously, I could change this and I could write UL first and then use this style afterwards, which would probably be actually a better idea. So just take these and then just place them after that. So that way we can write the anchor like so, and then because we're being specific with a class name of an anchor here, then the border bottom won't be applied. So border, and then now again, I know what's going to already happen. I'm going to actually have to declare the hover style again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and put that li in there. And we would like it to be border bottom 1 pix dotted, and that will be the post details color. So B8, B8, B8. Just copy that. Paste that there. Okay, so again, this is going to work in 2 places. We'll have to declare the color here, and then what we can do, I believe, is we can actually do inherit. Like so. I'm hoping. Yeah, so that's taken the color from the li and it's inherited it. So the anchor. So rather than having to define the color twice, I can just set it on the li, and then the anchor, which is inside the li, will actually inherit that color. And then there we go. There's the footer. So I'm just going to double check the margins here. See if there's any rulers. Yep. Or guides even. Okay, so there's a 10 pixel difference between them two. So we've got the reblog button. We've already got a rule set up for that. So what I'm going to do is I'll just append that and go margin 0, top right, bottom left. There we go. Let me click update the preview. There we go. So we've got our space in now. And we have our 2 sets of lines. Now, at the moment, we can't actually test the likes. And we're also missing a hash of the tag itself. Now, there are 2 ways to deal with this missing hash. And I'm going to go for it now because it's quite easy. The first way is to update the theme markup to include a hash here. So hash and tag. However, I don't really like that way purely because I feel the hash is presentation only. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the pseudo class of before and append a hash to it via the content. So go tags here and then do post footer tags a like so, and then I can just do it straight there actually. Before content, and that hopefully should be enough. Now I would obviously have to check the encoding like so. So there we go. We've had the hash put in. Now again, that's just preference. I prefer to add stuff that I feel is presentation related in the presentation language, so to speak. So there we have it. There is our footer starting to look a lot like the design. I think the only real difference we have at the moment is I think it's the line height here that's doing this. I'm just going to go back to the design and check the height and width of these elements here. So it is 20. So the line height of this UL, the footer UL, needs to be set to 20. Now, I can just do that here, I believe. Actually, maybe best taking this onto the UL itself. Let's see how that works out. So there we go. So now we've started to increase. And as I'm saying, now we've done this, it's clear to see that these dividers are actually going to work as a representation of the hover event. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take them out. Like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look for a, a darker colour. So there, the post details there, and a darker version of that would be probably the aside colour would probably be the best match. Like so, let's look at this. There we go. So it's clear now that we're actually hovering these elements. And again, that's just another design change as we're working. We could have done this a different way, and we could have just could have kept it the same as we were intended to, and then we could have gone to the markup and actually gone, well, I'm going to increase the size of these buttons, and that probably isn't a bad way about doing it. So here are our buttons. Now, if we go back to the documentation very quickly and look for the like and reblog buttons, you notice there was a parameter of size. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to increase the sizes on these rather than take away the border bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I would like them to be, let's say 25 pixels. Or let's say 26 because, well, even numbers. So the line height on the UL is going to be 26. It's still going to be 13. Yeah, that's correct. So it's going to be 26 divided by 2 for each of the lines, which is 13 pixels, and it's going to be 13 divided by 10, which is 1.3. So the line height goes back to its original, and then these are going to be size 26 and 26 because the two lines will be 13 pixels each in line height, so they will be 26 in total. And again, I'm probably bored of hearing this now, but this is another example of a design decision. So we decided that whilst we're working on this, we're going to change something. Okay, and then we'll just go to the live site and have a look at that. Now we have it. So there's now enough space for the dotted border, and we've increased the size of these, and I kind of like they're a little bit more prominent. There is another way to actually handle that. If we take the sizes off, like so, and then copy that. What you could also do is instead of increasing the size, go to your CSS, and then you can just increase the border, the margin top and bottom of these two. So we know the 20 pixels, and we know we've got an element on the right hand side of it that's 26 pixels in total height. So we're just going to do 3 pix 0, and that hopefully should do the same. I don't know why I keep using this screen. Okay, so obviously we need to add the 3 pix here as well. Like so. I'm just going to move that really light so. Let's actually change that so that the margin is applied on the right hand side, which will actually help us out later on. Okay, so just double check this footer element. For some reason it's getting on both sides. Just because I haven't stay at 0 there, okay. So there we go. So as I said, there's a number of ways to go about dealing with this visual issue, and it's totally up to you how you go about it. I actually think I prefer this solution because we maintained the actual height of the footer at 26 pixels, like so. Actually, this is a question that came up on Stack Overflow recently. The light button itself needs a line height of 0 added to it, and I can't actually give you a reason why. I just know that this is something that will make these two elements sit at the same height. I think it's to do with the div. There you go. So you notice a little shift there, and if we look with Firebug, iframes. If we look with Firebug, we can see that that div now has the same height as the anchor next to it. So that's just another one of those little things that you pick up along the way to set a line height for the light button of 0. So that is the footer now, and the quite a bit of the text content starting to look like the actual theme design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this an end to this video, and we will continue finishing up the CSS and the media queries in the next video. Again, I would like to thank you for joining me, and I do hope you can join me in the next one.